think I've done something to upset Lindsay today, haven't I? Tony, you told me earlier off camera, Citizen Machinery UK's #1 salesman.
Hardly that, hardly that.
But what I want to do, normally when we talk about a machine, we talk about why people have bought it and the components and manufacturing, things like that. But what I want to do is, because there's such a fantastic range of Miyano machines, just go through them very briefly. Obviously we don't want the full specifications because we will be here all day. So what I want to do, well, just get straight into it, is, actually, before we do that, we want your questions, please. So put them, however you're watching, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever it is, we want to put these guys under some they're under enough pressure as it is going live, but we want to get some questions to them, please. So, first machine though, the BNA-42, get this right, GTY LFE.
Yeah, so it's a 42mm sliding head machine. It doesn't have a guide bush, so you could really call it a hybrid machine. It's got a turret and a platen layout as well, so it's the configuration very similar to the larger Citizen models.
Right, so just to reiterate, platen all gang with a turret, so yeah, like you say, hybrid. But it's also, so you could do, and I think we've mentioned it lots already, your superimposed machining. Which
yeah, definitely. So we've got the X-axis movement on the sub-spindle, which is what facilitates superimposed machining. So it's a way of getting 3 tools in cut on a very small footprint machine.
There you go. And the LFE, because that is a Miyano with LFE, but this machine is the first one with the first fixed head with LFE. Just to
yeah, first fixed head, and also the first Miano with the FANUC control with LFE.
Okay, he knows his stuff. Put you under a bit more pressure. So the next one, BNE-51SYY.
Yeah, it was introduced a few years ago, became a very popular model straight away, really. You've got a twin turret machine with Y-axis on the top turret, but you've got 51mm bar capacity, so now we're going up in size, bar capacity capability, and again keep going back to superimposed machining on a machine of that size. It's very unusual to have that capability.
Okay, and that superimposed machining, getting those cycle times down.
Yeah, it's about productivity.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, next one then, BNJ-51SY6.
Yeah, so the BNJ is really the evergreen of the BNJ range.
Don't say evergreen, not in the recent circumstances.
Yeah, well, I suppose it works. So over 20 years, the BNJ's been being produced, and it started as a 42mm machine, just with sub-spindle. And over the years, it's progressed, and advancements have been made with each different model. We're at SY6 now, so 51mm capability and Y-axis on the top turret.
Okay, but relatively simple to run, but a small footprint as well.
Yeah, a reasonable size footprint, and again, we keep going back to superimposed capability. One of the first machines with it.
Okay, I'm getting a bit of a theme here, LFE, superimposed, but it's all simple to use though.
Yeah, very straightforward to use, yeah.
No problem at all. Right, next one then, the BNA-42SYY.
Yeah, the SY5 is the latest in the BNA range, I think I'm right in saying, yeah. And it was designed from the ground up with automation in mind, really. So it was a progression on the BNA range. There were some advances made. We've got a larger door opening. We've got 12-station turret. So we've got a 12-station turret with Y-axis movement. But as I say, it was built really with automation in mind. So it's got mounting pads on the casting where you can mount either robot or anybody's gantry automation. So it's about automation, really.
And automation, we hear that all the time. It's just the way forward. So
it's the way forward.
Yeah, you've got your sliders, obviously with the bar feed. These machines will have the 3-metre bar feed as an example. And the example we saw earlier, the guys at MCS with their robot loader.
Yeah, exactly. People are looking at robot loading a lot more seriously again now, and this machine is designed even with the door going over the centre line, so you've got access for an overhead gantry coming in. So it's all to facilitate that automation.
Brilliant. Okay. Now the next one, and getting a bit larger. So the ABX-42SYY.
Yeah. So there's 2 versions of the ABX-64, the SYY and the THY3. Right. And it's as simple as the SYY has got 2 turrets with Y-axis movement. The THY has got 3 turrets with Y-axis movement, so you can get obviously 3 tools in cut with the 3 turret machine, but also with the 2 turret machine, both with Y-axis, it facilitates pinch turning, pinch milling, and even differential milling or whatever.
Brilliant. Okay, and we visited our friend Owen at Andair, down on the south coast, one of Paul North's customers, and they've actually gone from the 64, they've sort of upgraded it as such because it will go bigger than that bar diameter.
Yeah, so it's ideal now. It comes as a factory fitted option that we can have an 80mm spindle on the machine. So that's something brand new for Miyano, really. So we've got 80mm bar capacity. So ANX-42SYY or THY with 80mm capability.
Who's loading that bar feeder?
Yeah, no, but that's the technical aspects of the bar feed looks after that. So yeah, you load it ground level and the bar feed takes care of the rest of it. You don't have to be Conan. Right.
Fair enough. Now, the next one, and the final one on the Miano range, is the one we've actually had a look at earlier with Chloe and James. It's a BNE65MYY. So tell me a little bit about that one.
Yeah, there's not much more I can add to what James' very professional presentation, I thought. But yeah, we're very excited about it because it's 65mm capability, so it moves on up from the 51. But it's twin turret, twin Y-axis. So again, you've got the benefits we've already talked about having a Y-axis top and bottom. Yeah. And again,
what are you going to tell me?
It's got superimposed facility.
Well, I mean, that's key. It is key to it as well. Yeah. But also, you've got the BYY option that I don't think it's out yet, but we did review it a little while ago. I think there was an exhibition some time ago. I think we went to.
Yeah, I think the last Jimtoff exhibition back in the day when we had exhibitions.
Yeah,
but
what is this exhibition?
Yeah, what's all that about? Meeting people. But yeah, it was shown there, and the top turret will have full B-axis capability, so that's something to look forward to.
360 degrees?
Yeah.
Well, impressive stuff. So super complex machine and made easy, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all about productivity and flexibility.
It really is. Now another thing is your process security. So when I say process security, LFV. Now people who don't know what LFV is, low frequency, if I could say it, low frequency vibration. Tell me about it.
Well, it's, the machines are designed to cope with the LFV, the low frequency vibration, and so it's a software and a machine build point of view. That's what we've got to stress, really, and it's for breaking swarf, chip breaking. But it's done with the software of the control, so we're not talking about dwell turning or something like that. It's actually reciprocating the axis or oscillating the axis, synchronized to the rotation of the spindle. So it's very clever stuff, and you can get the chips breaking 2-3 times a revolution depending on the material and what you're cutting.
Right, I mean that sounds pretty complex stuff, because if you turn it at 6,000 RPM 3 times per revolution, I'm not going to bother doing the maths, but okay, but it is an oscillation.
Yeah, it's an oscillation, but it's just on a single line of G-code programming, and it enables you to work in 2 axes as well, combined, so we can do radio, we can do tapers, we can do whatever we want.
Have you been reading my questions, Tony?
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially, bird's nesting is a thing of the past.
Yeah, it is when you've got LFV, because it just facilitates unattended operation, and that's again where people make money. If they can run these machines unattended, if you're cutting a material that strings up, whether that be plastic or tool steel, it just takes away the efficiency. So
I'm having a chuckle here, because guess what my next question was? What sort of materials? Absolutely. But okay, I'm thinking if whether it's a spindle on a slider or the turret on this machine oscillating as such, tool life, how's it going to affect your tool life?
Well, tool life actually improves. It's the old thing about it. It's perfect for everything, really. If you think about it, if the tool is oscillating and moving away from the contact with the material a number of times, then that allows coolant to get in. Right. That cools the cutting edge, and so you get away from things like thermal cracking of the inserts, and you actually extend your tool life. Oh,
excellent. So another great
another byproduct, really.
Thank you very much. Yeah, look at the right word there. Okay, so what about a couple more quick things? Now, it has caused, we were chatting with the guys at Project Max, it has caused a problem, the swarf bin.
Yeah, right in the early days we had a customer complain because he ran his machine for like 3 times longer than he normally would. The swarf compacted down because it wasn't stringy swarf. Come to take his swarf bin out, they couldn't lift it up. So it brings with it its own problems.
Right, yeah, so not a bad problem to have, really.
Not a bad one to have.
Okay, two final things then. So in terms of your cycle times and your surface finish, I'm assuming a cycle time's going to come down the same?
Well, cycle times can increase very slightly, although you can compensate for that by cutting quicker or whatever. So in some instances you will get a slightly longer cycle time, not always. But what it is, you get a much better efficiency from the unattended operation. So if you lose 5% of cycle time and you increase your productivity by 100%, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Surface finish.
Surface finish, yeah. The final good thing about it, well, again, down to the fact that the area you're cutting is getting cooled, the inserts are staying in good shape, then you actually improve surface finish, believe it or not. Yeah.
Brilliant. Tony, a masterclass in the Miyano range, the new machine, the ANX-42SYY, I think people might have got that by now, and LFV, low frequency vibration. Thank you ever so much, really appreciate it, putting you under a bit of pressure. And I just want to reiterate, if you have got any questions, please get them over to us, because we want to put these guys under a lot of pressure. Lindsay, back to you.
See, I told you Tony was lovely and giving Colin a run for his money. Thank you, Tony. And as you would expect, a really impressive range of machines that covers every aspect of fixed head turning.